Hello, today's video I want to have a look at a different way of using the Delightful Sentiments. There's a whole range of these and they're lovely big sentiments. So there's Celebrate, and there's a lovely, they're in a tangle, Thanks, and there's a forward version, Thanks, and things like Special. I haven't cut it out yet, but there's also Day, and they're designed to be one of those dies that you can cut and foil at the same time. So they've got these raised ridges that actually press the foil onto the card, and then they've got a cutting edge. Okay, but you don't have to foil them. In fact, this version of Thanks is just done with ink and white card. Okay, and then this I've used some gilding polish on. So that is really, the luster is great and you get the contrast. So they're lots of fun to work with, but I wanted to be able to put them, because they're really big, as an edger. Okay, either on the top of a tent card or down the side of a card like this. But if I tried sticking this along the edge, people being what they are with handmade cards, they go, oh, that's clever, and before you know it's come unglued. So I needed a way to anchor it. Now, I've done this version as well. Now I know that we don't like making these cards, but sometimes we have to. But that's just such a beautiful, really is a gorgeous die. I have foiled this one. I've sort of done it tone on tone in shades of blue. So I still love my foiling. But today's video is not about the foiling, it's about how to use the dies. Okay, so that's two of my samples, and obviously these will be on my blog post that goes with this video. So if you haven't found it already, scroll down to the description of the video, follow the link to the blog post. Okay, it's on the Couture Creations website, and also, sorry, on the Couture Creations blog, and also on my own blog site. So there we are. So I'll put those to one side for a minute and show you how how this works. Okay, and then I'm going to show you how you create the card base as well. Okay, so several stages here. So I've got here a 5x7 card base. Okay, and I have taken my Thanks die and I've kind of looked at where I'd want it to go, kind of about there. And then I've cut this. Now, how I've done this is I've got a piece of card, and it doesn't have to be twice the height of the die because there's an overlap. And what I've done is I've folded it and cut the die so that I actually take it over the edge, and then when I open it out I get this. Now it's got a crease line down the middle, it doesn't matter, it's going to be hidden behind my mats and layers for my card. Okay, so that will go there, and then my mats and layers will hide it. Now bear in mind this isn't stuck down, so it might be a bit wonky and things might move. Now it does hide the bottom of the letters, but it creates me a really good base to then be able to stick another layer onto. Comes over the top as well, like that. Okay, so I'm going to finish that one off in this video, and then I'm going to show you how I work out the angles and things for the mats and layers. Okay, so I need to figure out where I need to stick this. So what I did was I lined that up. Now I need to make sure this is still going to fit in my envelope nicely. So I've lined that up with where I want it to go. And then I've put some pencil marks in line with the crease line. Okay, so there and there. Let me zoom the camera in on that. Okay, so I've lined it up where the creases are. Creases are here, and I've checked that the crease is going to be just below where the edge of my bottom mat is. And then I've taken that away, holding it still, and I've marked with a pencil where that's going to be, and that helps me find where I need to stick this down. So the next stage is to stick that down. So I need my messy mat. So I need to make sure when I put my glue on that my really nice version of this is facing up. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to cut it as well when I do the other cards. So okay, but I just want to show you where we're going with this. So it's back of here that needs the glue, I think. Yes, if you can't tell the difference, it doesn't matter anyway, but you only want glue on one half. So if that is going to go right, I'm going to put my glue on this half. So I want to go right, just up to and onto the score line, the fold line. Okay, that goes like that. Then I'm going to bring my card base back. Let's put my messy mat out of the way. That's the whole point of it, so I can move it out of the way. So let me make sure I've got this in here. And over that over there. So you can see where I'm sticking. So I'm just lining my crease lines up with my pencil lines again, making sure that all my letters will be inside the kind of edges of my card. I do like to make cards that can be posted. So there we are. So that is now, zoom the camera back out. Ooh. Okay, so that is stuck in place. Okay, so the next job to do is to stick down the mats and layers, which I prepared earlier. And I say I will show you how you sort out the angles for this and figure out the sizes. So that's going to go on there. So let me just, I can put my tape on the back. So just going to stick that in place, and then we'll do the kind of technical bit. Take the stick and peel the end up. just need this corner peeled. Okay, and then this whole lot sticks over the top of this, hiding all the workings. So I'm sticking in the two corners, take my tape out. So there, I've sandwiched my support mechanism in between my card blank, my mats and layers. Okay, and then I just need to add my sentiment. So I'm going to use my inked one, I think. Or shall I use my, I did another forward one as well, or shall I use that one? I quite like that one. It's got a bit of razzmatazz. So you can go either way. Now I shall use the inked one. Okay, so I just need to put some glue on the back of this. Or you might prefer to put it on the support mechanism. Okay, but on this one I do need to make sure it goes on all the flourish. Now, just in case my glue squidges, I'm just going to put my messy mat behind. So if it does squidge out, it's not going to stick to the inside of my card. Line this up. It wants to go in the right place because of the deep emboss on it. And there we are. So I just need to, I'll just add some flowers on this. Okay, so that's how the system works. So let's see how we figure out the shapes and do the cutting. Okay, so I'll put that one to one side. So I've got here another 5x7 card base. Okay, and I've cut my mat and my pattern paper to the size I'd want it if I was just doing this as a normal rectangular card. Okay, so it starts off like that. So I've got all the widths sorted out and the lengths. Okay, and I just need to figure out what my angle is going to be. So let me find my die. Yeah, I can use that. Okay, so I'm going to want this kind of coming across the corner. And I need a ruler, or at least a straight edge. No actual measuring in this. I haven't got to measure any angles. You've just got to decide where you want it and draw a line. So I'm going to take my pattern paper out the way because I'm going to draw a pencil line. I don't want to draw on the pattern paper. Okay, so I'm going to put my ruler from the top corner where my card base is folded up here across at an angle, and then I'm going to put my die up against it and decide where I might want this to end up. So probably not that far down, so I can bring my angle up a bit. So maybe about there. I think a lot of that is down the bottom there. Yeah, I think that would work. About there, so I can take my angle up a bit more if I want to. And of course, if you were doing this on like a tent fold card or something, you don't need to worry about angles. But I did this and I thought people are going to need to know how I did that. So I can bring it along here a bit and take my angle up. And I can figure out how much I need to cut and where it's going to go. Okay, I think there will do. Okay, so making sure I've got my ruler at the corner of my card base. Doesn't matter if the angle changes slightly. Okay, I'm then going to draw that line with a pencil. Okay, across there. Okay, the next thing I need to do is grab my paper trimmer, which I buried under that card I just put together, to cut that angle off. Now, when you cut this piece off, actually I'm going to write on it front. And on my blog post, you will see there's a piece of card with front and back written on it. It's not this piece, it's the one from the other card. But you'll see how we use that in a minute. So when you cut this off, don't throw it in the bin. Keep it, because you need it for making the rest of the card. So I'm going to feed this into my trimmer. Okay, and I'm going to line up my line. I probably just want to just about cut the line off. I'll just cut on the line because I'm right in the corner. Okay, just the inside of the line. Doesn't matter if you're using a guillotine or a paper trimmer, you can still line the line up if you cut an edge. I'm using the Couture Creations mini guillotine, which I love. Great piece of kit. Cut square, cut straight, cut on either side of the card, get a perfect cut every time. Self-sharpening blade, and I don't know what officially it's supposed to cut through, but I regularly cut through 2 layers of 300 GSM card because I use it to trim my card blanks. I've had it a year now, I think. That's a brilliant piece of kit. Okay, so that's my card blank. I'm going to need that again in a minute, but I'll just put it out of the way. I can just see my pencil line on the edge of my card, so I'm going to rub that out before I forget. Okay, and I've marked front and back. Okay, and I need to keep this piece of card. Okay, and now you're going to see why, because I need to get that same angle on my mats and layers. Okay, so I need to cut that piece off. Now I could maybe use that as a template, but there is an easier way. And again, it'll work for whatever sort of guillotine or paper trimmer you're using. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this in here, but I'm going to flip it so that the side I can see is the back. Okay, so the top stays the top. So that was the top, and I'm going to flip it over. So I've still got the top at the top. Okay, just move that out of the way. Okay, and then I can put my card in. Now I cut this to size earlier, remember, to be my mat and layer. Okay, I'm going to bring my triangle over to the edge of where my cutting blade is, I'm going to bring my card, butt it up to it at the same, so its corner is also just on the cutting edge. And then I'm going to cut. And then when I put my mat back on my piece of card, it's got the perfect slope. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same with my pattern paper. So I'm going to line my offcut up again, and the fact that I've cut these to size beforehand makes this then very straightforward. If you don't cut them to size beforehand, it gets quite fiddly with adjusting the height and the width. I learned that the hard way, and I'm saving you the trouble. Cut them to the right size first and it'll be much easier. Okay, so then I'm going to line that up. I've made sure I've not slipped underneath or gone over the top. I'm just up against that piece of card. My corner is just on my cutting edge, or where my cutting blade is. And I cut. And I've got the perfect angle. Okay, so that's how you get your mats and layers for your angled card. There, okay, so that's that bit done. Now I need to make my support mechanism for the sentiment. So finished with that for the minute, I think. Right. So I have a piece of card folded in half. Okay, and then I want this to come along the bottom of my letters. So at the bottoms of my letters, the cutting edge is just below the bottom. Okay, this bit's going to go missing altogether. But that'll be fine because it's attached with all of that bit when it actually goes onto the card. Maybe do it there. No, it doesn't matter. Right, so I'm lining this up so it overlaps the edge. Okay. And if I turn this around and you look carefully, you can see the bottoms of the letters just peeping out below the card. And that's going to give me my kind of double aspect when you open this out. Okay, so take that down as far as I dare, because if I take it too far, I'm not going to have anything to support my letters. Yep, that's on the slope. Let's try and get it somewhere like level. I might need a couple of goes to figure this out properly. Let's give it a try there. I've not cut this sentiment for doing this before, so we'll learn together. Because every sentiment, the place you put it would be slightly different. But obviously this isn't how these were designed to be used. So I'm just using normal die cutting machine. I'm not using a foiling machine, I am just die cutting. Okay, so I've folded my card and my die is over the edge. I'm just going to die cut that together. Right, so let's see if this worked. So some bits will fall out, don't worry. We can always try again. If I got it in completely the wrong place, which I might have done. What have I done there? That has fallen in half and is not attached. Ah, I see. Right, I've got that half, which is the S as far as the E. And then I've got the I. So I need to make sure my E and my I stay connected. Right, let me get some more card. Where's my scoreboard gone? Right, so I'm just going to fold this piece of card in half. It only needs to be roughly in half. Okay, so trying again. Poke the bits out of my die. So maybe I'll take it higher. Let's try it there. Okay, so I've moved it up on my card. So I've only got little bits at the bottom showing. That's going to come off there. Yeah, we'll see. So I'm glad this went wrong, because I had this trouble with thanks, and I did get in there in the end with a place where it held together. Right, let's see what it's done this time. I'm hooked. Right. Now hopefully I can actually open this up. Yeah. There. So I've got special as a mirror image. Get the bits from the die cut out. Okay, doesn't matter if the bits haven't cut properly through. They just all stay hidden behind the mats and layers. Okay, so that's how I got the angle and how I got my support mechanism. And then this, I've got a bit of die cut there, needs to fit into here with the bottoms of the letters just touching there. Now it looks like I'm covering up lots of that, but then we're going to stick this one, this one over the top there. Okay, so let me get this in the right place and stuck down, and then I'll come back to you and we'll see how I die cut that and put the polish on it. So bear with me. Okay, so I have put this where it needs to be, so it's not going to come off the edge of the card, and marked where the crease line was so that I could then glue it in the right place. Okay, so here's my pencil lines here, here and here and here. Okay, so now I can put my mats and layers, my mat and my pattern paper over the top. So let's do that. I've already stuck the two together, save some time. I'm going to stick that over the top and it hides all of the workings, all of that support mechanism that we've made. Okay, so that's that, and then this just needs to be stuck over the top, and then I also need the day that goes with it because I want it to be special day. So let me die cut the other die, which I have buried here somewhere. So that's special. Ah, there it is. It's under my spare thanks. There we are. So I've got that. I've got some card here. Don't need a huge piece of card. I'm literally just die cutting, but I like with these to use a piece of scrap card. And I tape them down always because I like to get a really deep emboss. Okay, but I am just die cutting. I'm just doing 2 pieces of card at once. I did try using an rubber embossing mat, but it was too much. Okay, these are extra deep dies, and that was just too much. So I find an extra piece of card works really well, and then just your normal die cutting sandwich. My extra piece of card is quite often craft card because I bought a huge stack of it. I didn't realise I was buying a huge stack of it. I looked at the price per sheet and it was a really good price, really, really good price. But it was a huge stack. I will probably never use it all. So, let's get this out the die. I was going to bring out a piece of paper over to work on. I like to work on wax paper when I'm doing this. But, you know, you can just work on your mat and then clean it afterwards. That's it. Sometimes I find the easiest way to get things out is to drop the die and then they seem to fall out. Okay, so if I show you this, now I've die cut it, you can see that that's got a really deep emboss. Okay, so when I use gilding wax, or in this case I've got a gilding polish product, then it's just the raised edges that pick up the product. Obviously, if you're putting a gilding wax on with your finger, be very careful where you end up with your. You could quite easily get it into the indents if you press too hard. But I'm just using a flat sponge. Just need a bit more on here, but a bare minimum, because otherwise it will go down the cracks. I'm just going to work it into my sponge on my mat, which is why I work on the wax paper, because it makes it clear up really quick. Okay, I'm going very, very gently, and that's why I like to have the deep emboss, because then it's just the raised areas that pick up the product. Okay, and I'm turning my card so I come from different directions. You're never going to get perfect results with this because it's the nature of the product that it's a bit kind of weathered and rustic looking. Here we are. So there's the day. Okay, it's a water-based product. So if you have got bits where you don't want it, you might be able to pick them up with a water brush, something like that, or a piece of damp tissue. But I'm going to leave it as it is, have the rustic look. I'll move that out of the way. You see, that's why I like to work on the wax paper, because I can just move it. Okay, so I'm going to have special, day, and then I shall, that pretty much makes my card. Might add some flowers a bit later. Okay, so let me stick those down. So glue on the back of this one because it needs to overlap onto the paper. Come on, glue. blot this. Okay, and then I'm going to tuck my messy mat, or a spare piece of card or wax paper or something behind here, just so if my glue splurges it doesn't end up on the inside of my card. So this generally wants to sit in the right place because of the emboss, but you just need to help it a bit to start getting it lined up. And then once you've got the first bit lined up, the rest of it just seems to go into the right place. There we are. Okay, and I'm just going to turn that over, give it a good press. There we are. So put the camera up a little bit. So there's my special. I shall put my day down here, maybe over there. Yeah. So I've done other cards using these where I've used gilding waxes. You know, the kind of glitter products that you put on with a sponge. You could use, ink on a blending tool. All sorts of things, sparkly inks, mica powders, you name it. You know, it would work. So I'm going to put that there. There. Okay, and again, I'll probably add some flowers to that one later. So there we are. So there's all sorts of sentiments in these. There's awesome, amazing, nailed it, boy, girl. You've seen the celebrate. Let me bring the other cards back over. There's that really lovely sympathy. And celebrate. That seems to do for it so many occasions. Thanks. So lots and lots and lots of sentiments in the range. I've done other cards using the amazing one. There's a happy. So many options, so many different ways of using them. There was a day I wanted to focus on them, using them as dies, and they're quite a special die rather than the foiling. Okay, if you want to ink them, you literally put it on your cutting plate or on a piece of paper that you can then use to move it to your cutting plate. Cutting side up, use a pigment ink pad. Just apply the ink direct with the pad, card on top. I usually add a second piece because I like that deep emboss. Run it through your die cutting machine. Really great effect. Okay, thank you for watching.